G'day guys, it's Robert again from Australian Camping and Four Wheel Drives. So in this episode I want to go out and have a look at the Ford Ranger that we purchased. We purchased this about 4 or 5 months ago, and I've had a couple of requests, people asking to sit down and have me to go through it and show them what we've done with the vehicle. We bought it at factory standard, and we've changed a couple of things from there. So we'll go outside and we'll have a look at it, eh? Here we go. Okay guys, this is our Ford Ranger. Comes in bright orange, we purchased, and we've done a fair number of items to the Ranger itself. I'll go through some of the things we've added onto it. So one of the first things we've got on this Ranger is the ARB Sahara Bull Bar that's sitting on the front of it. And we went and added some roo shoes on it as well. Just over here you'll see these little black things around it. They're obviously there to help scare away the kangaroos, but I don't know if they work or not. We'll have to see, hey? The Sahara bars actually come with the steel bar, which actually goes from this side, goes up over here and goes down the other side, and we opted not to have that on this particular vehicle. I have had things blocking the radiator in the past, and I just figured, well, the less amount of items that I've got sitting there, the better. Mind you, I went and added the Intensity Lights on the front. They're really good, hey? They shine light a fair way off into the distance for us also. And then we also added the Xeon winch, which I'll show you some close-ups now of it as well. So the Xeon, it's the Xeon 10S if I remember right, winch just fits inside here, and you've got your winch cable inside there as well. And the way it actually works is it's got a little latch over here on the side, which you just open up. And in here is where you put your winch cable, and that just attaches to the winch, which is just sitting just up in here, and you can access that stuff as well. So guys, this is the Ockham Bonnet Protector as well. Well, it's one of the first things we actually put on the vehicle, and that just goes around the front of the vehicle just to protect it if you get rocks and rubbish when you're out travelling. Tries and refracts all that stuff off your bonnet there for you as well. And I forgot to mention here, this is our antenna. She's pretty tall. We actually have it that tall so that when we're driving, if we hit the antenna first of all, we know we're probably going to hit something up on the roof. So that was part of the reason why we went for a larger antenna on this vehicle. We'll see how it goes. Early days yet. And in here guys, we've got the BP51, the ARB OME BP51 suspension sitting in there. And you'll see beside over here the remote reservoir that it has that you can use. And these shocks are unique in the sense that they have a rebound and compression stroke on them that you can actually adjust. So they come with some special tools that you can use, and you just put those onto the actual shock itself, and it adjusts the rebound and the compression of the shocks to either make your ride a bit more comfortable whilst you're out driving the vehicle. The shocks have been very good for us. We've enjoyed using them on the road. I quite recommend them to anybody. They're probably on the dearer side of some of the other shocks, but yeah, they've been a really good shock for us. So these are the tyres we've got on the vehicle. We've got the Cooper ST Max tyres. These are 265. They've got 60 R18 tyres, so they're 18-inch wheel tyres, and they come with the factory rims on it. We just decided to put the Cooper ST Max tyres on them. The main reason being is that I've had some other tyres on my Challenger, and they're the Cooper tyres, and they've been really good, so I've been really happy with them. So you know, when you're onto something that you really like and it's good, you know, you might as well just stick with it. So that's what we've done here. Okay guys, the side of the vehicle, here we've got the ARB Sidestep. We did have the factory Sidestep on this car, and we had it here for a couple of months. We found it was really flexible. They flex a lot, and I was just a bit concerned when we actually get out to do some rougher four-wheel driving, that's going to get damaged. So we took those off and we put the ARB Sidesteps on it. These ones are strong, hey, you can get on the whole vehicle, and yeah, they don't budge, they've been good. So we also put on the ARB awning. This is new to me. I've never tried an ARB awning before. When we purchased all the items for this vehicle, we managed to get that thrown in. So thanks for the guys at ARB. That was really good. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Long term, it's we tried it on our last trip, and we used it a couple of times, and it was good when we pulled it out and used it. So yeah, been really happy with that. Up here you'll also notice we've got the Occam side covers for the windows, and yeah, this is great, you know, if you're out driving and you got a bit of wet weather, you can still let the windows down a little bit and let air get into the vehicle that way. So it's great for that type of stuff also. These pretty much just stick on, you just do them yourself. It's not hard to do, just order them from Occam. I think we did it online, and they just send them out to you, and away you go. So good stuff. Okay guys, this is the rear, the Ranger. Some of the things we've done here, we pulled off the steps that they had on here, and we replaced that with the ARB Summit series bar. These are good. These parts here are actually replaceable. If you ever do ding them up, you can get new parts from them as well. We've got the whole thing colour coded to the vehicle as well. These ones also have high lift points on either side over here, so that side and the other side you'll find them on as well. And inside here, this little cover actually lifts up, and in here you'll find we've got our 12 volt Anderson plug in there, and our plug that we use for attaching to our tow vehicle as well. In here we've got our point where we go and we mount our tow bar that just fits inside there, and just closes up when we don't need it. Okay guys, some other things around the back of the vehicle. So we've got the Wildtrak, essentially just a bar which slides in from the front. Obviously allows you to attach stuff up top up there, which comes in really handy for us. We also have got some more Rhino-Racks just sitting up here as well. They lock into the channel that these the Wildtraks actually have. And the way we used them on our last trip, we put a large box sitting up in here, and we had space on the other side for a couple of other items which we may have needed to carry also. Up top up there you might notice we've got the Drifta rack which we use for our Oztent, and so our Oztent's going to sit up there. It's a newer purchase for us, we only just got it, and so our Oztent's going to sit from here all the way through the front, and that should be really good. Alright guys, we'll go around and have a look up top there, and we'll show you what's on the top of the vehicle as well. Right, so this is up top of the vehicle. What we've got up here, we've got our shovel mount sitting over there, and attached to that we've got our high lift jack sitting there also. We've put two fuel jerry can holders. These are the ones which hold the jerry can down lengthways and not heightways. We found we didn't want to try and increase the height of the vehicle too much if we possibly could, so we opted for those type there instead. And behind that we've got a solar panel that we utilise. That helps to charge the battery system, which we'll show you a bit later. And just up here at the front you'll see we've got a sand flag holder. And sand flag holder, obviously whack a sand flag on it, and when you're doing your desert trips, it comes in handy for that too. And so this is how our Oztent holder is going to sit up here on top of our roof. We put that up there like so. It's going to get bolted down, of course. It's not bolted down at the moment, but we'll use that to put our Oztent on, and that way we don't have to worry about it bending or anything like that whilst we're doing some of the rougher tracks also. Okay guys, so this is the light bar that the vehicle uses. It's a 42-inch Bullseye Lightbar, and so we attach that up top up there. And the way we attach that onto the side here, we use the Monster Rides brackets. So you can just see those up underneath there, and unfortunately the light bar is a little bit shorter than it is for the brackets, so just up in between there we had to actually just get some longer bolts and put those through and tighten them up. They're really tight, those ones, and since we've done that, it's been really good. We haven't had any issues with that light bar. It works really well. Those yellow covers which are sitting on the light bar, they don't come with the actual bar itself. We just purchased those. They're on eBay. You can get them pretty cheap. You can get black ones or whatever colour you want, and I just figured we'll get some orange ones and we'll whack them on instead. It's really just to protect the light bar against hits and knocks, and the bugs that you get flying up into those things as well. Okay guys, so we'll talk about the rear of the vehicle. So up here we've got the cover, fits on the back of the tray, and that's just designed obviously to stop for scratches and whatnot that you get on these vehicles. Pretty easy to scratch them up. That's been really good for us. Other thing we added over here is the grunt shock absorber, and what that guy does just makes it a little bit easier and lifting it up, and when you drop it, it doesn't bang down on you. So that's been really good as well. Look, we do some personal things ourselves. We just chuck up here one of the floor mats. We just got this from Bunnings, say, and that mat there just helps us out if we ever need to get up inside here. Just makes it a bit easier on your feet, really. Other things as well, I've got the rubber mat sitting up here, just protect the floor, and then we've got the off-road systems fridge slide sitting in here as well. So the way that works, you just grab it, pull the whole thing forward, and yeah, the fridge just locks out there in place for you. Makes it a bit easier to get into the fridge. You just open up your locks on either side. This is the ARB Elements Fridge, and this is a 60-litre fridge, this one, and it's got a gas strut on it as well on the side over there, and so that's been really good for us. Look, one thing I'd recommend you guys have a look into is, we'll just get this guy out. It's a little hippo. Just get this on right. So one of these little hippos, and what they actually are designed for, they're designed to absorb the moisture. So you ever come back from a camping trip, get one of these and chuck it in your fridge. It'll absorb all the moisture for you, and you won't end up with one of those nice smelling fridges that you see sometimes around the place. So we just leave that there in the fridge, and yeah, up the front up here it's got your on-off buttons, your temperature controls. Has a little lock thing here as well, which you might notice, and it's got little pins. A little bit hard to see, but over here you'll see this little pin, and what the pin does, it uses it to lock into the top of the fridge up in here, and then that locks the fridge shut, and you can use that pin. You have a pin number on here that you can use to access all the stuff inside your fridge. So that comes in handy, and yeah, it's quite simple. You just lock her up, and yeah, she just slides straight back in there like so. And one thing that we had to make sure is we wanted to make sure that the fridge and the fridge slide would fit underneath the cover. So let's have a look at this. She's pretty close, guys. So you pull this cover and you'll see, yeah, we've got probably a couple of millimeters there probably to fit it into. So that is a setup which will work for most people. It'll let you put your fridge in there and get it on a fridge slide and have it removable as well. So we put the fridge slide in there as well. Use some special rivets to attach that to the actual tray as well. And yeah, the thing we've got here as well, we use the ARB Recovery Kit, and we keep that in the vehicle when we need to go off-road and do that type of stuff also. Some other things we have in here as well. So we keep these bags in the back of the Ranger as well, and essentially just open up. We put equipment that we need, tie down points and all that type of stuff. If you ever go off camping, you know, you always need something or other, don't you? So we get these things, put all our tools in the other one, and we use that for storing all those items in. Drifta bags have been good quality bags, made well. I suppose, you know, if you're looking for somewhere to store stuff, one of the things I do like about the bags is that it's flexible. And so it sort of molds into the situation it's put in. If you go out and buy a box, you can't do that. If you get a bag, you can fit it in there and it'll mold around whatever it's got to go into, which has been really good. Like we put it down here beside the fridge, and it's an awkward shape sitting down there, and I wanted to keep everything together, so we had two options. Either A, we just chuck the stuff sitting down there and it ends up all over the place, or B, you get a bag and you put your stuff in there and the bag fits in and it molds around all the other stuff. So that's a really good way that you can use those bags as well. Alright guys, we're going to have a look at the back here, and we're going to have a look at the battery system which we're using as well. Let's go. Okay guys, so this is our Australian Direct battery setup that we've got in this vehicle. It actually features two 120 amp hour batteries. Now you'll see the front battery, this has actually got a 120 amp hour battery in it. This is this battery pack here, and you push a little meter on here, it shows you your voltage and whatnot, so that comes in handy. We plug our fridge in over here, and we've got two other accessory sockets which we can use as well as USB over there also. Have an Anderson plug over here if we need to on this vehicle, and up the top up here, which we'll get a close-up of, it's got a little CTEK Monitor, and that works to monitor our battery and the condition that the batteries are in as well. So we found that to be very useful also. Up here's the Redarc BCDC 1225. This is the low voltage model we decided to put in. At the time we weren't too sure whether the Ranger could actually take the normal one. Found out later on it can. The low voltage model is essentially designed so that it'll charge at lower voltages. Sometimes the alternate at the front switches off, and it doesn't charge the batteries at the back, it's my understanding anyway. And so we wired up the low voltage model. It doesn't take much extra, it's only like a wire or two more to hook in, and so we did that. In behind this battery, you might notice there's actually another battery sitting behind there. That's another 120 amp hour slimline battery. So these are the kick-ass batteries we purchased as well, and they all come from Australian Direct, so you can order all this online. I'll sell you the whole lot. we actually changed this a little bit ourselves. So what we originally did is we purchased the battery box with their battery, and then what I did is I went and purchased a Redarc battery charger, the Redarc BCDC 1225. Purchased that separately and added that in, and I got the CTEK Monitor. You know, you want to try out a couple of different things. We've got the CTEK battery charger in the Challenger, and that works well. And I just wanted to see what the Redarc one's like. Seems to be good so far. Haven't had any issues with it, but it's all early days yet, hey? Okay guys, this is a little spring-loaded thing you'll see sitting here at the back of the Elements Fridge, and what it's designed to do is it's designed to hold the cable. So it fits on with a magnetic base down the bottom down there, and these ORS slides actually have a bit of metal down there that you can actually attach it to. And so what it's designed to do is when you actually close it, it keeps the cable up out of the way, see? And then that goes back and then fits at the back there, and same thing comes forward. So it just keeps your cable up out of the way, out of harm's way. We had it a couple of times where it almost got caught, and yeah, so that just keeps your cable up out of the way, and that works well for us. Okay guys, time to have a look inside the vehicle. So in the side here, you'll notice straight away we've got some global automotive seat covers that we've put into the vehicle. So the front one's really easy to whack on, hey. Back one's a little bit more of a struggle, but they're good seat covers. They're neoprene and just protect your seats. And down there we've got the fire extinguisher as well, and we got some bucket like floor mats that fit in there as well. So we purchased those, and they seem to be doing the trick for us. Let's have a look inside the vehicle. Just zoom out. So just down here we've got the Redarc brake controller for us, and then you'll see just down over here, this is the light force switch panel. And so in here you'll see we've got the light bar switch, we have our driving light switch, and then you'll see like the little power one sitting over the side over there with a kangaroo underneath it. So the little power one, that's for our air compressor, which is in the front of the vehicle, and the one underneath that, that's just a spare which we can use later on. You'll also notice over the side over here, just over here, little green LED that we can use, and way that works is when you actually start the vehicle up, or if you're in an area where there's solar. So at the moment, because we're actually undercover here, we don't have any solar, it'll actually indicate that it's charging the battery in the back for you as well, so that works out well. So just down over here on the Rangers, they've got their two-wheel, four-wheel and high-wheel, two-wheel, four-wheel drive high and four-wheel drive low switches. So yeah, and they have two 12-volt sockets just sitting in here as well. So we use that one there. It actually just goes up here, and I'll get that in focus for you. So that's our Transcend camera, which we use when we're driving, and that records in the vehicle and the passengers inside the vehicle, and also records the outside the vehicle, of course. So it does both at the same time. So just over the side over here, you'll see we've got the scan gauge just sitting down there, and scan gauge is designed in this vehicle. The way we utilise it is it actually records the temperature of the auto transmission. On our Challenger we had a couple of issues with that, and yeah, so we decided to put the scan gauge in, and that works wonders for us there. We'll just go around the other side of the vehicle, so I'll hop out. So over the other side of the vehicle, the first thing you'll notice over here, got the Idrive. They're great, hey. If you haven't tried out an Idrive, get one of them. They're really good. They adjust your accelerator pedal, and you have a few different modes in it. But a lot of the guys out there seem to like the ultimate modes, Ultimate 3, Ultimate 4, and the AC mode, which means it automatically detects and adjusts the throttle by itself. We've got it on AC mode at the moment. That seems to work pretty well for us as well. On our last trip we took a Spot with us. Spot's like a GPS locator. Essentially allows you to send information through to your relatives. So if you're ever in an area where there's no phone coverage and that type of stuff, it's great. It's got a little OK button here that you click, and that just sends a message and says, yep, we're all fine. It's got a little foot icon beside it, and use that to indicate, you know, if you're off travelling. and another one there if you just want to send a generic message. So these messages have got to be set before you actually leave. This one over here, this one's designed, you push that one in, it doesn't bring the armed forces, it just brings your relatives. So it sends them a message and say, hey, we need help, but it's not an emergency. That's what the SOS button's for on the other side. Okay guys, let's have a look at the back of the vehicle. So in the back of the Rangers, they've got some really nice seats in here. We put on the seat covers as well, sitting on the back on here. A little bit hard to get on these guys, but they're really nice. Cover the seats really well. They've got headrest covers on them as well. And the other thing on the Rangers, you'll notice, is just down the front down here, you've got 240 volt socket that you can use for about 150 watts, so not a lot of stuff. So what I mean by that is you could use it maybe for charging a laptop or your phone and that type of stuff. You don't want to put high wattage stuff into that, so a drill's a no-no for those ones. Some other things as well, underneath the seat actually lifts up. And so up the top there we've got our hose for our air compressor, and then just over here we've got cables and whatnot which we use when we're camping. Comes in handy too. So the seat goes down, and then up the top up here we've got another pull down strap, and that allows us to access in behind the seats. So in behind this seat in here, just up over here, we have, get the camera around the right way, so we've got one of the Australian Direct, I call that an extra power outlet. So it's got a little switch we can push over here, and I'll just get that on for us now at the moment. And that just shows us like our battery voltage and whatnot. And we have 2 USB chargers sitting underneath there. Kids and adults these days tend to have a lot of stuff runs on USB, so that's handy for us also. The other thing on these ones here, which you can't really see, it's a bit dark, but it actually has an Anderson plug sitting down the bottom of it also, which is handy. Another thing we store in here, we put our katana blade, our silky katana blade. We've got another Drifta bag over there, which we use for storing odds and bits and pieces in. And then over the side over there, we've got another 12 volt outlet. So that's designed, you know, if you ever want to add on extra accessories to the vehicle, you can. It's all fused, ready to go, and yeah, so that's about it for the back of this vehicle. We keep a lot of our gear into the back there, comes in handy for us, and yeah, when you go on your trips, just locks back in there like so. Alright guys, let's have a look around the front of the vehicle, inside the engine bay. Okay, so this is inside the engine bay, and one thing we're going to notice here, we've got the Provent catch can sitting here. This little guy here, just unscrew it and pops out like so, and you put all your exhaust fumes go through that, and it filters it out and then puts that back into just down the bottom down there for you, so it filters out all the oils and whatnot that go through your engine bay. We whack this one in ourselves. You've got your cable, your tube, sorry, just going over there from your engine, and she just plugs straight in, just straight back down there as well for you. They're not hard to do, you can do them yourselves. We did that one ourselves. What happens with these guys is just down here, you'll see, just in front of us there, you'll find there's the little valve you turn, and that just lets the oil out for you once you've need to do that every so often as well. So the other things we've done in the engine bay, not a lot. I mean, most of it's pretty standard. We did add over here just a little fuse box for us. It's got some resettable fuses in there. Make sure you label those guys, makes it a lot easier to find stuff later on. And you'll notice the big fuse just up here. That obviously just goes to the back, to our batteries in the back in there, to charge our fridge battery that we use back there also. So over here we've got your fuel filter. That's a standard fuel filter that comes with the Rangers, and this is our secondary fuel filter sitting over the side over here. And you might notice just over here you'll see the air compressor hose just there, and that air compressor hose is designed for our air compressor, which is sitting right in behind our fuel filter there. And so we use that obviously when you do up your tyres and whatnot. Yeah, so that works out well for us. So guys, that's pretty much the entire Ford Ranger that we've got here. We'll just close this bonnet up. So I hope you've enjoyed your look around the vehicle. It's been a really good car for us. We've enjoyed using it so far, but look, really, it's early days. For us, I mean, we've only just got up to 15,000 kilometres, so not a long way, and we haven't really had any major issues with it. It's been a good car so far, and if you're looking at something like this, I'd say go for it. We've enjoyed it. The underbody protection, I should show you that whilst we're here. So just underneath the vehicle in here, you'll see there's the underbody protection, and that just goes all the way through the front. A little bit hard to see up the front up there, but yeah, the underbody protection goes through this vehicle, and so we put that up under there. They did have some issues, I think, with this bar up top up here, which is a little bit hard to see. There it is, that bar up there with stuff getting caught on it, and so you might notice on our vehicle over the side there, we've got some silver stuff sitting over there because we've got some of our tubing running on that, and we didn't want it to catch fire possibly, so we've done that on our vehicle as well. So that's about it, guys. I think that's pretty much everything that we've done on this vehicle. So that's the Ford Ranger, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Talk to you later.